How y'all doing? Welcome to the Blue Chip Podcast by fans for fans. This is your host Cody Potter. Going to get into the Commanders Green Bay pregame just before, man. Today is September 11th, man, and I'm never ever probably going to do this again on this pod, but man, I just want to say, man, this world needs to heal, man. This country needs some healing, man. Right, left. Black, white, like whatever it is, man. The truth is the only two things in this world is right and wrong, and I hope everybody finds some faith in themselves and in their heart to let God in, because honestly, man, the things that are playing on social media right now are they're troubling, man. Nobody should ever see something like that. Hate is a heavy weight, and I just pray that everybody finds a way to heal, finds a way to not let this bring anger into their life, because realistically, man, like we all as people struggle mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically at some point, and I do believe that, it's up to us to be there for one another. And yeah, man, thoughts and prayers to Charlie's family, man. It's man, it's just, like I said, I don't ever go here, but I felt the need to today. Thoughts and prayers for all the families from 9/11 and things like that. It's just it's a heavy day, but this is a football podcast. I'm going to talk football. That's what we do. Football is going to go on. The world is going to go on, man. Despite all the things, like I said, I just hope, it does seem very small when things like this happen. But, the truth is, man, is people really need to, I hope and pray that people find a way to let love and peace and forgiveness and things into their heart. Because honestly, man, if you let anger come into your heart from all this, man, then hate wins, and that's just a motor of the enemy. And I just pray that everybody finds a way to let God in their heart after all this thing. So again, keys to the game, Greenbay Washington, man. So we're gonna like I said, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna get into this game. So the biggest thing, Thursday Night Football, man, the narrative to Washington season is we have plenty of primetime games. Pretty cool that we do have plenty of primetime games, man. It's been a long time since this team has really played in relevant games. It's been a long time since these type of games mattered to this team. I'm excited personally. Green Bay is a very, very well put together team. They're very, very well built. They are loaded up there. You are not a team that's trading multiple first round picks for a player like Micah Parsons if you don't believe that you have Super Bowl aspirations, man. Last year in the playoffs, they were there, and this is a big game. This is a big game for Green Bay. This is them trying to make a statement saying that we are here, that we belong. Beating Detroit was a divisional game. Detroit has won the division the last 2 years, so Green Bay needed to make that step. Well, this is another test for them. This is another statement game for them. But it is also Washington. Like Dan Quinn said, he said it best, man. They got to play us too. So to the points of the game, man, my keys for Washington is stop the run on the way to the quarterback, man. That is key number one. If the D-line is physical with Jordan Love, the truth is there will be 3 passes that he will force a ball into trouble. It was a big thing when he was at Utah State. It's been a thing that he's done in the pros, that when you get physical with him, you can rattle him, you can shake his feet, you can see it in his body language, and he will throw the ball into trouble if you are getting pressure, especially in his face. So that is where Daron Payne, Javon Kinlaw, who had an amazing game against the Giants, we're going to need them to step up in week 2. I think Green Bay has a pretty good offensive line. I think Washington has the makings of a great offensive line. So while I look at Green Bay's defensive front, and they are very, very talented. I loved Edgerrin Cooper coming out, man. Micah Parsons was one of my highest grade players in his draft class in the COVID year. So trust me, they got some ball players on that defense. One thing that I am kind of excited about was, Kenny Clark was a hell of a veteran for Green Bay that they traded in the Michael Parsons trade. So that is why I say, man, you got to stop the run on the way to the quarterback, because realistically, we need to run the ball. We need to set the precedent. So how does Austin Eckler and Bill work together? Can they look more in sync? Can they be more effective early in the game than they are late in the game? Or is this going to be another situation where I felt like last week was where the offensive line grinded their defense down, and in the fourth quarter they just had nothing left because we were the more physical football team? That's where the difference between having a really good running back and a dynamic back come into play, because there are only a few really truly dynamic running backs in the league, man. There's only so many Jamar Gibbs. There's only so many Bijan Robinsons and Saquon Barkley's. Bill is a hell of a player. He's a hell of a talent. He's very explosive, and he's looking really, really good in his reps. Can he elevate his game? Does he show that he deserves more time? Because I really didn't like the usage of Austin Eckler early in the first quarter, where they were using him the first two drives and we're not spelling him. I don't think that's the best, usage for Austin Eckler. But again, man, there's going to be a couple throws in this game where Jordan Love is going to force a ball into a window if you are physical with him and you are doing everything up front on the defense that you need to do, that you really need to do for this team to win the game. So my thing about that is if this defense gets their hand on one of them three passes, you have a really good chance of winning this football game, because I think that offensively and stylistically, while they do have a good defense up front, I think that we can exploit the back end. So if we are running the game, it's which is very, very critical to the success of this team. And I believe that we will be able to run the ball because of Jaden Daniels, because of Bill, because of the offensive system and Deebo Samuel and everybody, having their role in it, and just the way that we do it schematically and stylistically. Like I said, man, if we get our hands on one of them passes today, I think we have a really good chance of winning. If we get our hands on two of those three passes today, because we do have playmakers on the back end of our defense, I think we win this game by a margin that most people are not foreseeing. Because I do think Green Bay is a Super Bowl contender level football team. I think the truth is without being a homer, I think Washington is too. You're not, you can say whatever about our schedule last year. You can say whatever about us overachieving, and I think that we did. I mean, that's okay. But when you have a staff believing in a team that believes in their staff, a staff that knows how to get the best out of their players, that is when you overachieve. It's because you are being developed. You are developing the talent on your team. You're putting them in a position that reflects their talent, and you maximize that. That's not really called overachieving. That is called maximizing and developing. So, people can call it whatever they want, but, you don't go 12-4 by mistake in the NFL. And then you don't come out and look like the more physical team against a bad team, have the lapses that we have, and then still control a game plan like we did last week. So that is not the sign of a bad team. That is a sign of a really, really good team, and you don't make it to the NFC Championship by mistake. So again, this is a big, big game. This is a statement game, I think, for both. It's I don't want to say a measuring stick game, because I don't think teams look at it like that. I think you beat the team, you play the team that's on your schedule every week. And this week is Green Bay. So, everything starts up front. Brandon Coleman, man, had a hell of a game. I don't think he graded out very highly on PFF. But what I did notice was Dexter Lawrence, the Giants' interior defensive tackle, who I think is the premier defensive tackle in the league. He was quiet. And when they were in one-on-ones, which is very, very rare for Dexter Lawrence to even be, focused on one-on-one, but with all the players that they have on that defense, you weren't able to double team everybody. So somebody had to step up and make their keys and win their assignments. And the one thing I continuously noticed was Brandon Coleman was on number 71 for that, or 91 for that team, or 97 for that team, and he held his own. Tunsil Connerly Jr. Connerly, I didn't think he had the greatest game, but I did think he had moments. He had good moments, he had bad moments, and that's a rookie thing. And when you go against that type of talent on the edges, you're going to have lapses, especially in your first game, man. That's a hell of a draw for your first game. But again, Micah Parsons this week, man. You got to step up because it's going to be just the same thing. If I could think about two of the most athletic edge type players, two of the most athletic disruptors in the league, Brian Burns would be up there. We all know what Abdul Carter's testing numbers were, so trust me, man, it's there. And then Micah Parsons this week, man, again another 4.4 athlete. So Josh Conley's going to have his hands full, and it's a really good test. I want to see where he stacks up because I believe in this kid. I know he has the athletic ability to handle the guys like these. Tunsil really, really does put a leadership role and an anchor on his side, especially lined up next to Brandon Coleman, and then Tyler Biadasz making all the calls. Man, he really, really does a good job on that offense, and I think it keeps everybody right where they need to be, and I really, really am excited to see what this game turns out to be. So outside of the run, outside of Austin Eckler and Bill, the rookie, this is where I think veteran leadership comes in, man, because realistically, like when I'm thinking about their teams, it's weapons on weapons. And, Terry and Debo and Jalen Lane, man, these are three guys that I think the rookie is really, really going to really step into the third spot as the course of the season goes on. And I really, really like what I've seen from him so far. He's just a guy that doesn't make the same type of mistake twice. That's what I've seen from camp. That's what I've seen in early preseason. It's what I saw in the game. He had a drop pass, very next play, Jaden Daniels goes back to him. He makes the catch. He just shows quick memory. He's a hard worker. He's going to be a hell of a slot for this team. Another dynamic weapon, man. He did his job on special teams. He did his job on slot when his number was called, and I expect his role to grow as the season goes on, man. I've been saying that all off season. But Terry and Debo, this is where you have to step up, man, because they have a hell of a free safety over there that's going to be bracketing up the top end of this defense, man, and that's what they want. They want to keep everything in front, man. So can you get a play over the top, whether it's Jalen Lane or whether it's Terry? If it is there, unlike the Giants game, you're going to have to, if it's there to hit, then you're going to have to hit it because you're not going to get that opportunity twice. So can we make them pay on these type of plays? Can we can we grow and expand on the miscues that we had from the week 1 to week 2? That's what you're looking for. You're looking for growth. And then again, I brought up Edgerrin Cooper, Green Bay linebacker, man. Can we make plays in the run against this type of linebacker behind that front because our offensive line is doing their job? Can the running back see the holes, hit the holes, be patient enough, and make these teams pay and maybe make one of these linebackers miss and break a big one? That's what you're looking to see. We already talked about Micah Parsons, man. We know what Micah Parsons is on and off the field. I think the biggest key matchup for me, though, in this game, beyond all that, is Jaden Reed and Mikey Samerstill. I think that's really, really where this game is going to be, the difference in the scales, man. Because like I said, I brought up Connerly versus Micah Parsons and things like that. Edgerrin Cooper against the run and things like that. But when I think about Jaden Reed and Mikey Samerstill, I'm thinking about the best weapon that I look at when I see their team currently right now. I love Matthew Golden, love the prospect. Had really, really high grades going on to him last year into the draft. But Jaden Reed is their stud. Jaden Reed is their horse, man, and he is a really, really good slot wide receiver. I think he's top 5 in the NFL as far as from the slot when he is healthy. Mikey Samerstill is somebody that I have blue chip grade on from the nickel position, so he's a guy that I expect to be able to cover guys like this. This is what you have a guy like Mikey Samerstill for. He's a very smart, intelligent football player. Plays above his weight class. He makes a very big impact, man. And he's a super smart player. And I expect him to be ready for this matchup, man. I think this is a game where Mikey Samerstill stands out. And when I was talking about those 3 plays, Mikey Samerstill is a guy that can get he has a knack for getting that football. We saw it in the Detroit playoff game last year. Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time moments, man. And Mikey Samerstill, to me, is a big-time player. He's a huge player on this defense, man. So, that's a matchup that I've been keying for this game. And, whoever gets the best of the other one's probably going to be on the team that wins this game if the turnover margins and all them things are similar. So, again, I'm excited to see what happens there. So, ultimately, the game comes down to Jordan Love to Jaden Daniels. I think Jaden Daniels is just a premier player in this league. I think he is just one of one. Not because I'm a homer, just because of what he does stylistically, man. Like, he is, in my opinion, more advanced. He's technically more sound as a passer. He plays better from the pocket than I think Jordan Love does. And I think that even athletically, I think he's a more dynamic player with the legs. Jordan Love is a hell of a football player, man. He's a hell of a talent. There's a reason that he got drafted in the first round. There's a reason that they, spent the time to develop him. There was also a reason why they took the time to develop him. He had lapses in certain aspects of the football game as far as reading the field and scanning it and then knowing the different levels and nuances of the defense and things like that, to where Jaden Daniels in the league, he has come in, he is advanced as a passer, man. He has worked his way up through college, worked his way up into the NFL, and he has shown that he can continue to build upon all them things. And so is Jordan Love. It's just taking more time. But Jordan Love was a young player when he came into the league, where Jaden Daniels is a little bit older as far as, his age coming into the league compared to Jordan Love's. So again, man, I think ultimately, I think this team does have the better quarterback. When it comes to maybe the the elite level premier players, I think maybe the Green Bay does have more, especially when it comes to the defense with Xavier McKinney and then Micah Parsons and things like that, and then Edgerrin Cooper, who I think is in his own right on his way to being a blue level player if he's not already considered one. So again, man, this is going to be a really good game, really good test. Yeah, man, I'm very, very excited to see where this goes, man. It's really cool having week 2, short week. This is a huge test for this team, and I'm very curious to see what it looks like. Win, lose, or draw, man, either way, I think this is going to be a very, very tight game. And this is what you're looking for, man. These are the type of matchups that if you're trying to progress beyond what you did last year, as Washington did, and I think they are truly capable of doing. This is a game that you have to be in at the end. This is a game that you have to be the more physical team. This is a game that stylistically, if you want to have the identity that this team claims they want to have, that they showed last week that they want to have, then you're going to have to exude that identity in this football game to be on top at the end of this game. And honestly, personally, I think we have the roster to do it. I think we have the type of mind frames to do it. I think Marshawn Lattimore is everything that you look for as far as, that type of chip, that type of attitude. Same thing with Laramie Tunsil. I think Josh Connerly does it in a different, quieter way. Terry McLaurin has always been a guy that just, you look at in his eyes, man, he wants that game, man. And Jaden Daniels, I think he's a silent assassin, man. This dude, not actually silent because he's actually talking the whole damn game, smiling at guys. But honestly, man, I think this team has what it takes to win this game against Green Bay. We might, a lot of guys might be writing this team off. Maybe we're not there yet in their opinion, but I think this team knows where they are, and I think they're going to go out here and show it this week. So again, man, these are the keys to the game, man. These are the matchups I wanted to highlight, man. This is game day, so it's going to be a hell of a football game, man. Thankfully, we got football for this Thursday night, man. No matter what your heart's feeling like, man, I hope everybody enjoys, man. I think this is a quality matchup. And it's going to be a hell of a football game, for all the Thursday games that have always been, the Cleveland versus Jacksonville or whatever it is, man. This is a premier level football game, and I'm very excited to be able to just do the pregame for it. So again, thank you guys for checking out the Blue Chip Podcast by fans for fans. This is your host Cody Potter, man. I hope everybody has a blessed and safe day, man. Hold your family close, man. I love them, man. You don't know how much time you have here, man. So peace.